Their superstar, 41 and 24 boards for Victor Wembanyama. The Spurs take game one.
When the game called his phone, Victor Wembanyama delivered.
He's going to pull a deep three.
Oh my goodness.
Man, oh man, was the Western Conference Finals Game 1 exciting. Both the Oklahoma City Thunder and the San Antonio Spurs were leaving it out there on the floor, but when your team is moving with such intensity, it's going to be hard to not come out on top. Wemby would insert his dominance down the stretch, the rookie Dylan Harper came to play in his first playoff start, and as a whole, this team came out to set the tone immediately. I mean, OKC couldn't catch their breath at any point in this game, and in this video brought to you by ProdGxm, you can see that the pressure is tight on Shai right now, and as he starts to drive, you're going to see Vassell help over hard, and usually, helping this strongly in the strong side corner can lead to an open three-pointer. But the Spurs' game plan was to get the ball out of Shai's hands to make other guys beat them, and this time Vassell is successful at getting a hand in there to strip this one away, and then immediately on the other end, they may miss the initial look, but having Wemby always gives you a chance on the glass, and although it takes a couple tries, he ends up getting two inside. Hounding Shai like this turns him into more of a playmaker just like they did Anthony Edwards, and along with that, they'll use their other guys to deny the first option and going to Chet right here, and then as Shai looks to go back to J-Dub, Harper is right there to force a fumble, and now San Antonio has an easy one going the other way. Throughout the game, the Spurs would sell out on helping on Shai attacks, and due to SGA not making these passes earlier like he can right now to Chet, this allows the Spurs guards and forwards to get their hands in there to force turnovers. This exhausting defense would affect everyone, as Harper can stay with Mitchell on the attack to force a reset, and then when McCain tries to attack middle past Champagnie, he gets denied to then be sent back left. With Harper staying locked in, he's able to poke the ball away as McCain tries to regain the handle, and once again the Spurs are in transition. Having multiple guys who are bought in defensively leads to smart plays where they can stop momentum shifting plays completely to then have the possession call go in your favor on the review. And then when guys have confidence to attack who they feel aren't the greatest inside defenders, this is when they're met with a sudden surprise. Defensively, the Spurs were applying tons of pressure to OKC, and then on offense, they just took it right at them. When running these pick and rolls with Castle and Wemby, it's like the perfect combination to stress test the defense. As if they don't guard Castle off the screen, he can drop the ball very well to get inside to score. So you have to send a defender over there to show on him like we see Caruso do here. But this is where the magic happens. With Wemby forcing the defense to pay tons of attention to him, he not only is going to pull his man in Jalen Williams with him, as he makes Chet drop in slightly to be ready for the help on the catch, along with AJ Mitchell as well. Now remember this help position to AJ Mitchell because this will come into play a little later, just trust me. But on this play, it's the strong side corner help that fails OKC when Castle whips it over to Champagnie for the tray ball.
To the corner, Champagnie knocks down a big three.
Oh man.
Right there, you can see how this two-man game can influence a lot. And when Wemby rolls into this free throw line area off this screen, Castle could very well try and place it perfectly over the top for Wemby to then operate, but I want you to locate SGA. With Shai being deep in help position with 1 foot in the paint, he poses a slight threat to come from behind and try and knock the ball loose if passed to Wemby, but at the same time, he is so far in help that this now lets Champagnie freely slide up the sideline, who Castle now looks it to. The defense is now forced to close out hard as you can see, but Chet, he's just such a far distance away from Vassell, who ends up cashing this one in. All of that there started with a simple Wemby and Castle pick and roll, and even if they are to let Wemby create by himself, he can calmly attack the paint to then spot the cutting Bryant on the baseline, and with the defense now collapsed and worrying about Bryant, the kick out to Champagnie becomes straight cash. Now hold on, Victor isn't some passer that's going to amaze you every time he throws one, but it's that quick recognition that the defense is going to double him, and using that as an advantage to set up your guys that makes things special. With the Thunder using Alex Caruso to defend Wemby, we can all see the massive height difference. Differences like this give Wemby the advantage from all aspects of basketball, and most importantly at this time will be his vision. Because with Chet aware that Caruso could need help, you'll see him help over early to be ready, but this is when Wemby can use that height of his to see over and toss over everyone down to Harper. And let's just be honest, if you're going to be the only rim protector on the floor, you have to not get bullied by a guard. While Wemby used his own height to unlock reads, Castle will use Wemby to unlock his reads as well. Remember earlier when I said watch out for that weak side help positioning? Well right now, that comes in handy, because when Castle comes off the double screens with Wemby rolling, you can see AJ Mitchell coming over to help immediately. But when looking at personnel, even with AJ coming over to help Shai, they still probably couldn't stop Wemby from catching a pass up top. Furthermore, this help from Mitchell instantly opens up the corner, and Castle is able to skip this all the way across the court for a Johnson 3-ball. He did this before when Jalen Williams rotated over early to help out on this Wemby roll, and when initiating these, it's all about the pace. Like when coming off here, Castle doesn't try and rush to the rim to go score. He just lets the play develop, which is Wemby bringing multiple down to him on the roll to the basket, which now gives Castle the wide open window to hit Johnson again for a 3-pointer. This pace to not rush every single possession and scan the floor instead seems like it goes through the whole roster. And even though he's a rookie under the bright lights, Harper is also under control enough to spot the help coming over to then proceed with a kickback to Johnson. With so much to throw at OKC, the Spurs can have anyone come up huge during any possession, and boy oh boy did Castle show us something after J-Dub and Caruso both got hung up on Wemby, just leaving Shea down there for the fight. Now Castle didn't have the best numbers when it comes to shooting or turnovers, but the aggressiveness along with the pace he displayed was exactly what you want to see from your young guard. When the Spurs get the switch they want, by using Dylan Harper as a screener to get Casey Wallace off of Castle, Stephon now can go to work against what he feels like is a weaker defender, and all it takes is two simple, yet effective crossovers to get downhill for the and one.
Castle working his way inside, got the bang in the bucket. And Stephon Castle.
Now the turnovers of Castle do have to be cleaned up as you go deeper into these games, as no matter what's happening, 11 turnovers will never be acceptable. But what was great to see was how the young guard Dylan Harper played with such confidence. Sure, he got out of control a couple times here and there, but it's the sharp yet fluid movements he makes on the floor that lead to buckets like this.
What a slice for two! Oh, and the bang, and the foul.
And then when using Wemby as a screener, the opposing team's big is most likely either going to reattach to Wemby, which then opens up a lane for the ball handler to attack, and even though J-Dub did great at rotating over, the body control of the rookie is just pure.
Harper gets to the best, what an athletic finish around J-Dub at the rim.
Yeah, some of those plays were pretty nice, but let me ask you this, what would you rate this one?
Caruso, Wemby beat him inside, threw it down with the foul.
Woo-wee! Wemby was playing with such aggression that if you didn't stop him in the locker room, he was going to put you through the rim. This here gets people off their feet. And what can make these playoffs games even more exciting is that when you know you can be responsible and have the means to do so, ProdGxm is the #1 app for sports picks. The playoffs, as me and you both know it, are well underway, and ProdGxm is the best place to enter your lineups at a chance for a nice prize. When you go on the app or desktop, there's so many sports to choose from with many different categories that sort picks that you can add to your lineup. I mean, it's pretty easy to use. All you have to do is pick more or pick less on a few player stats to put them in your lineup. Take a look. When I selected mine, I thought Chet would get 15 points in game 1. For Shea, I thought he would come out more aggressive, so I took him for under 6 assists. And then after I went through and found the picks that I liked the most, went ahead and clicked submit lineup, and then I let the magic just happen. If you want to place your own picks and follow my lineups, you can sign up for ProdGxm in most states, including California, Texas, Florida. And if you sign up for ProdGxm with code HMA, you get $50 instantly once you play at least $5. So either download the app or click the link in my description and let me hear your picks in the comments. Now with Wemby having it out for OKC, it would only be right that he would come out and put up such a performance like he did. For the Thunder, they really had no way to slow him down, no matter how physical they played, who they put on him, or how many people they threw at him. This here was a concern I had with the Thunder after scouting their matchups versus Spurs in the regular season. Wemby literally can affect the game in so many ways that it truly becomes overwhelming when deciding what to even do. Like, I'm being serious. This is what happens when Victor Wembanyama faces off against the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Sure feels like one. Wemby with an exclamation point.
When you roll it back, Wemby not only went right into the contact to then maintain balance when putting up the shot, but once missing, Wemby is the first one springing back up to grab the board, and now there's a new poster being produced. Yeah, things like this are what I predicted we would see in this series. And it gets even better when you notice that he doesn't shy away from contact despite his slender frame. So when he does have mismatches such as this one with Casey Wallace guarding him, it's nothing to just move him out the way like we see him do Alex Caruso. And then when catching a lob, he can turn around in midair to lay this one right in.
Wemby in one motion puts it back up and in.
Being his size and doing the things he does is what makes him one of the scariest guys on the floor on any given night, and they may already know. But OKC needs to really put it in their heads that nothing comes easy. And even if you are putting up a 3 and he isn't tight on you, it's that length of his that allows him to still block this one. Usually with Wemby, heavier bigs will try and bully into him to wear him down throughout the game, but OKC doesn't really have that luxury when it comes to Chet. So with this being a matchup we're gonna continue to see, Holmgren will have to use more finesse to get off his moves versus Wemby, or else he'll just be stopped like this.
Is at the high elbow. Here's this matchup, Wembanyama.
Now don't get me wrong, Chet isn't the only player that has to worry about him inside, as when guys think they shook their defender to then go score, Wemby is right there to show him that it's really not that simple. Fear like this is something only Wemby can instill, and that goes for his offense too. Let's think about something. How many guys have we seen in the league that are 7 foot and such a threat from the outside that defenders sell out to stop the shot? And we're not talking about just one defender. 2 end up falling for his 3-point up fake, and now with everyone else with their eyes glued on him, not moving at all, Wemby can zip a pass right past everyone for Johnson to lay it in with ease. Being able to have multiple defenders forget about everything and just commit to him is something only star players have the ability to do. But what separates stars is what they do once the attention is now present. As he puts the ball on the deck after the up fake, Wemby gathers into a shot over Chet, and honestly, some guys would continue with this shot to try and make a tough one. But with the height to see over the 7-footer, Wemby can see Harper cutting along the baseline, and the rest, well, it's history.
Inside, Harper! Oh, he said it with his chest!
Not many 7-footers can make reads like this. And this isn't to say that Wemby's main thing is passing like I talked about earlier in the video, because we all know it's making plays like this one.
Goes right to work. Oh! Victor Wembanyama starting out with a bang.
The amount of contact that Wemby deals with all the time and in game 1 like we just seen is crazy. Like on this play, Chet is first grabbing him when the contact is initiated, and throughout the whole gather, he doesn't let go of Wemby once, and he still gets put in the rim. Things like that are what can break a defense, because on one hand, they think the contact they give Wemby will throw him off, and then on the other, they think they can get away with the contact and be sneaky, but when the refs catch it and Wemby is still focused, that's when the disappointment sets in.
Castle throws it in, Wemby catches, scores, and is fouled.
So as we seen in game 1, they can play physical with him to wear him down. But at the end of the day, he's equipped with enough skill, and simply put, he just doesn't back down to any challenge to create space needed to get to his spots on the floor to then go get a bucket. Facing contact and still creating looks for himself on the floor is a skill set he has to beat the defense if they come out aggressive, but then he also can move without the ball to avoid really dealing with much contact, and now all his teammates have to do is throw it up and Wemby can finish it off. Most bigs on an action like this might slide out the way in a slow manner, but Wemby is so active that he quickly slides out the way while turning his body to face the rim. So once Johnson runs into this double like we see, it's not like Wemby lazily floated out to this area to get away, as instead, he stayed actively engaged in the play, which results in a left-handed finish off the alley-oop connection.
Drive throws it up, and Wembanyama guides it in with his left hand.
When you're a star who can make plays at any given moment, you're bound to have the defense key more in on you, and some guys in the league would like to beat the defense right here by driving, others may look to send it to Johnson to keep the ball flowing down the floor. But when knowing there's no rim protection down low and Fox's man just rushed to him, the send back to Fox is the smartest option, and then the lob back to Wemby is an even smarter decision.
Catch, alley-oop, Wemby counted out a foul. Wow!
Things Wemby does on the floor just make you frustrated as a defender, and if you're the defensive coach, you can't have Jalen Williams or, like we seen in game 1, Alex Caruso guarding Wemby on these plays. I mean, even if Chet is in foul trouble or you think Williams or Caruso is more athletic to contest, this simply can't happen, or else this will be the outcome.
Jason Goldenberg says no. He grabbed the rim. He just grabbed the rim, coach.
The playoffs, as we've seen, is no joke, and having many ways to go score is key. So whether Wemby's moving off the ball to catch and put up shots, or if he's receiving the pass to then step around everyone to go finish, Wemby doesn't always need the ball to score. But when he does have control of it first, it can get pretty nasty. Like, it's not many guys in the league his size that are walking down other bigs with confidence to just let it fly.
My experience. Wemby bottoms.
The skill, well, is mandatory, but confidence is the bigger factor. And it takes a ton of confidence to knock down shots like this while falling down.
Fading away. Wemby.
This here is why everyone is locked in, because with exciting plays like this, it makes the playoffs worth watching while also giving the defense a challenge. I mean, let's talk about it. You do the right thing by not letting him attack this left side and send him back down middle, and then you do a solid job again at making sure you close off the paint when he's in there as well. This here is great defense from OKC. But what do you do when this doesn't even shake Wemby and he just spins back around for the hook over the top? This is what I mean by breaking many defensive schemes. Anything you throw at him becomes another effort that has failed to give you solid results. Wemby can pick you apart inside any way he wants, and then also, he can nail a sidestep 3 like this one.
Of the night, so that's Barnhire's got to be feeling a little bit better.
Wembanyama, the sidestep, knocks down.
A lot of people across the world are going to be betting high on Wemby this series, as it seems like he takes this rivalry with OKC very personal, while OKC seems to act like they don't care about the Spurs at all. That right there is what ignites Wemby every time he plays OKC. And you can see with so many ways to be effective on the floor, they're going to have their hands full when it comes to stopping Wembanyama. I want to know who you all think will win this series and why you think so. So head over to my website, which is pinned in the comments below, and join us in the debate over the conference finals between OKC and the Spurs.